Hello everyone. In my today's session I am going to deal with the topic that is operators in general. So later we can switch over to some of the rules and understand different types of quantum operators. So let's start. So first, what actually is a operator? So operator means it is going to perform some operation on any function. So what happens? So when an operator is operating on a function, then after the operation it is going to give a different function or a new function. So an operator is a mathematical rule which when operated on a function generates a new function. So some of the simple examples of operator let us study. So first is a square operator. So a cap of f of x. A cap is an operator if it is performing an operation on a function f of x and the conclusion is f of x whole square, then it is a square operator. So next type is a differential operator. So a cap operator operating on x square, which is a function, gives you 2x. So differentiation of x square is equals to 2x. So we can say that a cap operator is a differential operator, that is d by dx. If you consider for x coordinate, it may be d by dy, d by dt, d by dz, anything. So in general I have taken for x coordinate. So a cap is acting as a differential operator. Next, let us see about linear operator. Linear means straight away we can understand. So a cap is an operator operating on a wave function which is a combination of two wave functions xi1 and xi2 with scalars c1 and c2. So a cap operating on c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2 will be equal to c1, that is scalar, into a cap of xi1 plus c2, which is again a scalar, into a cap into xi2. So the operation is going to be operated by keeping the scalars outside, which is not going to change, and operation is done on the wave function. So if we take an example, again a differential operator, which is an example of linear operator. So d by dx of ax square plus b e raised to x. A is a scalar as well as b is a scalar. So they will be kept as it is. X square is acting as xi1 and e raised to x, that is exponential of x, is acting as xi2, which is another function. So after the operation we can just write it as a into d by dx of x square plus b into d by dx of e raised to x. So further simplification can be done, but the nature is linear, so it is coming under linear operator. So next type of operator is non-linear operator. So again an example is a square operator. So here a cap operator operating on c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2 is not going to be equal to c1 a cap xi1 plus c2 a cap xi2. So it is opposite of that of linear operator. There it is equal, here it is not equal. So example is square operator. So here let us illustrate. So a cap operator acting on xi is equals to xi square. So let us put xi is equals to c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2. So substituting back, so it will be a cap into c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2 will be equal to c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2 whole square. We have just put the xi value in the first equation. In place of xi we have replaced by c1 xi1 plus c2 xi2. So if you solve it, we get c1 xi1 whole square plus c2 xi2 whole square plus 2c1 c2 xi1 xi2. So it is something like a plus b whole square. That is nothing but a square plus b square plus 2ab. So here we can clearly observe that there is an extra term which is present and it is not equal to C1 A cap Xi1 plus C2 A cap Xi2. So by the definition of nonlinear operator, we can say that square operator is a nonlinear operator. So next let us move to the another type of operator, that is antilinear operator. So here we come across the conjugates. So A cap, that is operating on a wave function, that is C1 Xi1 plus C2 Xi2, will be equal to C1 star A cap Xi1 plus C2 star A cap Xi2. So the scalars are converted into their complex conjugates. Again let us see how it is going to be operated. So again we are considering one equation. A cap operating on a wave function Xi is giving Xi star. Again putting Xi is equals to C1 Xi1 plus C2 Xi2. So substituting in the above equation, we get A cap into C1 Xi1 plus C2 Xi2 is equals to C1 Xi1 plus C2 Xi2 whole star. Star is nothing but complex conjugate. Here we can write it as C1 star Xi1 star plus C2 star Xi2 star. It is just a simple identity when you consider the conjugates. We can observe that Xi1 star is nothing but A cap Xi1, because the equation whichever we have considered is A cap Xi is equals to Xi star. So A cap Xi1 will be equal to Xi1 star and A cap Xi2 will be equal to Xi2 star. So the same thing we have substituted here, that is in place of Xi1 star substituting A cap Xi1 and in place of Xi2 star substituting A cap Xi2. Not Xi2 star, it is Xi2. So this is a kind of a derivation where you can illustrate an antilinear operator. Next, let us move on to some of the rules which are very important in quantum mechanics. First is operator A plus operator B will be equal to operator B plus operator A. It is simple commutation law. So again, A cap plus B cap into Xi, which is a wave function, will be equal to B cap plus A cap into Xi. Next comes A cap into B cap. In general, we say A into B is equals to B into A. But in quantum mechanics, we are considering the operators. So A cap into B cap is not equal to B cap into A cap, because these are not just scalars, these are the operators which when operated on a wave function, it is going to give another wave function, and another wave function again when it is operated, it is going to transform again. So one by one we need to take the operators and operate. When we reverse it, the values are not going to be same. Next is based on the inner products. So if you consider two operators, operator A and operator B, and take the inner product, it will be equal to minus of reverse of those two. So inner product of A cap B cap will be equal to minus of inner product of B cap A cap. So what is A cap B cap inner product? So inner product of two operators A cap B cap will be equal to A cap B cap minus B cap into A cap. So this is the main relation which is used to solve the inner product of different operators. Next, if A cap into B cap of Xi is equals to B cap into A cap of Xi, which is nothing but, if you rearrange it, it is something like A cap B cap minus B cap A cap of Xi will be equal to 0. And from the above equation we can say when A cap B cap minus B cap A cap is equals to 0, the inner product of operator A and operator B will be equal to 0. And for such condition, we say that operator A and operator B both commute with each other. So it is one of the rule which we study in commutation law. That is, when the inner product is going to vanish, the two operators which are involved in the inner product, they are said to be commuting. So what actually is commuting? Commuting means if the inner product is vanishing, then we say both the operators or the variables can be measured simultaneously. If it is not equal to 0, then it is non-commuting. So next, anti-commuting. That is, we know AB minus BA, that is operators, will be equal to 0, then it is said to be commuting. But if A cap B cap plus B cap A cap of psi is equals to 0, then the relation says that A and B are anti-commuting with each other. So this is another rule. So some of the examples where you can understand easily. So first example is, we have taken operator A as position operator X cap and operator B as momentum operator P cap. So when you solve the inner product of position and momentum operator, you get it equal to minus IH cross. So here it is not equal to 0, means X cap and P cap do not commute with each other. That's why we say position and momentum cannot be measured simultaneously, which is nothing but uncertainty. So here this is the significance of commutation law or commutators. If you take another example, like inner product of Px cap and Py cap, that is nothing but the momentum along x direction and momentum along y direction. If you take the inner product, it is going to be equal to 0, which is nothing but Px cap and Py cap commute with each other, means both of them can be measured simultaneously, means at the same time. So momentum along x-axis as well as momentum along y-axis can be calculated or measured at a time. So based on these inner products, we can easily say whether they are commuting or non-commuting, that is whether they are measured simultaneously or not can be studied. So more and more examples will be solved in coming videos. So these are the rules which are very important to remember for solving further problems in quantum mechanics. Thank you.